Hey, you can squat, you can do a push up. That's great. So it's not like everything we're doing is like super fancy. Like you just need to do the basics and you need to be able to do it really well. Cause like you come in and it's pedal to the metal. Like we're going.
Megan, welcome to the show.
Hi Erica, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. So, can you please tell the listeners where you are currently working?
Yeah, so I'm fortunate enough. I'm at Duke University. This is actually my ninth season, so very blessed to be here.
Wow, so you've been doing this for a while at the same school, which is impressive in strength and conditioning and performance, because usually a lot of coaches will kind of bop all over the place. Were you at any like schools or had internships prior to Duke?
I was at Harvard University before this. Worked with a handful of different teams there, which was an awesome experience. But I was there for 2 years. Prior to that, I was at Southeast Missouri State. I did my internship, was a GA, and worked as a full time before going to Harvard. So few places, but um, Duke hasn't fired me yet, so I must be doing something right, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, several years is very impressive. So, yeah, you must be doing something right, which I'm excited to get into today with just all the work you're doing with the current women's soccer team there. But there's a lot of girls and parents listening who are always curious about gaining strength and preparing physically for the D1 level because it's a totally different ballgame, as you know. So, when you have incoming freshmen coming in, what are some things that you want them to be competent in the weight room and just be prepared for physically so that they're ready for preseason?
Kids that are coming in, like they're going to be very skilled with soccer, right? So I'll let the coaches take care of that. My side of the coin is I'm sports performance. So from a physical standpoint, a lot of times with athletes that I'll see is their training age is 0 to very little when it comes in from a like a weight room specific training standpoint. So I think for me, the biggest thing is just go to the weight room, get acquainted with the major movements. So you need to be able to learn, you need to be able to know how to squat. You need to be able to know how to hinge or do like an RDL posterior chain type of movement. You need to be able to do a good push up. I hate seeing these like little crappy push ups when kids are just moving their neck. Like, that's not what we're trying to do here. So you need to be able to do a good push up. And you need to be able to do chin ups, guys. So I think, females in general kind of struggle when it comes to upper body strength, but I think that's a great testament. So when our kids come in here, I won't one rep max test them or anything like that. We'll utilize some other testing, but we will do a chin up test because I think that is a great testament from your body weight to your strength. So yeah, just being able to do the basics really well. You don't have to, have a huge PR or anything like that. Like I don't that's definitely not what we're trying to do, but you need to be able to be functional with the main movements.
Mhm. I'm so
Um,
glad you mentioned good push-up form because that does bother me a lot when you see them with their moving their chins or their butts are in the air or their butts are
they're,
drooping. It's like,
they're
guys, we're getting
turtling. Yeah,
nothing out of
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it is a basic exercise that girls really do need to nail down, and then the chin-ups too. And have you had any freshmen come in over the years for as long as you've been doing this who did come in with a high training age who had done previous strength training in high school and were they more prepared for kind of those preseason demands?
Yeah, we've had some really freak athletes here, like, very fortunate to work with them. But we've had some kids that come in and the one I'm thinking of, her father was a coach. So he kind of knew what to expect and how to prepare his daughter to come in. So her level of training was high. So like she needed a different training stimulus than, the average women's soccer player that we'll see. But I think, again, you don't have to go super crazy with it, but you need to know the basics when it comes to the weight room from conditioning and speed perspective. Like a lot of that stuff, I know people will more likely find trainers for that. So there's a little bit more experience from that end. But I think typically for women's soccer coming from high school into the college setting, they're just missing out on that piece of, hey, we need to do some strength training.
Mhm. And can you just speak more to the strength training piece about how it's really helping these girls with that injury resiliency side of things? Because the college game it's so much more physical now than it was, I'd say, a few years ago.
Yeah, no, so I think, we train all year round, right? We play soccer all year round. So I think the big piece where a lot of people miss is like they don't know where to fit it in. So that's where, hey, can we find help to fit it in? But you have to, excuse me, you have to maintain that level of strength. So we work hard all summer, come in for preseason, and then if you're not lifting in season, you just stop. So your level of power and strength decrease over the course of the semester. Well, you get to the playoffs, you play in the tournament. That's when you need that strength and power. So maintaining, you don't have to go super crazy. Like you can do minimal sets, minimal reps. So again, that minimal effective dose to keep your strength and power up throughout the course of the season. So if we get to the NCAA tournament, hopefully we'll make it to the Final Four, if not the national championship game. Like I want my kids to be fast and explosive. If we stop training, yeah, we're gonna get some effects from sprinting and all that good stuff, but we still need to do strength training. We still need to do some plyos just to like maintain our level of strength and power that we've been developing all summer. Because if we just stop, you're not really set up for success down the road.
Yeah, and then they just wither away and they get weaker and lose
A
muscle
lot of
size.
kids
And
lose weight. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and like you said, when it matters in end of November, early December, when the playoffs are happening, you
Mhm.
want your athletes to be strong and explosive still at that point. And I do like what you said about how you're not maxing out or going nuts with volume. It's just enough of a dose to maintain and just and also build in season. So, can
Mhm.
you explain what the in-season schedule looks like? Are you doing 1 to 2 times a week lifts? How long are they in duration?
Yeah, so at least for us, it's varied throughout the years. But this year we've gone 1 to 2 times a week, schedule dependent. So with travel games, if we have uh, one game a week, we're lifting twice a week. Depending on where the game falls, it will be dependent on the day. So typically for us, we'll lift Tuesday post practice, and those sessions are 20 minutes. So
Oh, great.
nothing crazy. We'll come in, we'll hit. Again, depending on the week, depending on our loads and what we're looking like, what we're feeling like, we'll do some 2 to 3 sets of something explosive, so some type of jump, some type of plyo, some type of med ball, and then we'll do anywhere from 3 to 5 sets of some type of strength work. So I typically pair upper lower, um, hit that, and then we're going to do some like injury prevention stuff. So we do some foot and ankle work. We'll do some glute hip work, and then we'll do some adductor work.
Okay.
Because hamstring work's already built in with the strength block. So yeah, all that takes 20 minutes. Depending on, hey, day one, day two, it'll look a little bit different, but that's the outline, right? So we do a couple exercises for 2 to 3 sets of power development. We do a couple strength movements for 3 to 5 sets, and then we do 3 to 4 sets of injury prevention, like isolated stuff.
That sounds really great, and I like that it's 20 minutes because that doesn't really take away from what the coach is doing at their practice, and they can feel they can get all their technical work done, and but 20 minutes, you can get so much done. You just listed off a menu of exercises there, so they're still productive 20-minute lifts, which is really great.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't. You don't have to go in and do an hour's worth of stuff. Like these kids have a lot going on. Kids in high school too. Like
Yeah.
they've got homework, studying, social life, practice, games. Like minimal effective dose. What do we need to do to keep these kids healthy and able to perform throughout the course of the semester?
Now, as far as strength numbers, I know you're not really maxing out on them, but just as far as just what girls are lifting maybe at their heaviest on some of the main lifts, can you share like any of those averages, a hex bar deadlift or an RDL, for example?
It's really dependent. So like I've got again those athlete spectrum, right? So we'll have different levels, at least for us. Like kids that are a little bit more experienced and look good doing stuff, they'll do more barbell based stuff, right? So
Yeah.
kids are doing split squats, and we'll use VBT. So velocity based training, for those of you guys that don't understand, is tells us how fast the bar is moving at a certain weight. So I'll give them a range that we're trying to hit for that day. Again, depending on loads and where we're at in the week. But so if you're level two for us, you're using more barbell based stuff. If you're level one, we're using more dumbbell based. For us in season, it's not a great testament to how well we're trained. So I don't want to use that. But in the off season, we'll do trap bar deadlift, front squats, and again, that's a big range. We transitioned to more velocity based use with them. So again, numbers it could be anywhere from 115 to 135. You know, stronger kids are going to get up to 155. But again, it's a range, like sets, reps. What are we doing? So I hesitate to give you specific numbers,
Yeah.
but I know like high school kids probably like, oh, I can do that. That's great, awesome. But again, just keep in mind like sets and reps and how fast we're trying to move it is what I'm looking at, not necessarily the weight on the ball.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of people be like, "Oh, yeah, 115, no problem." But if it's with velocity-based training, it's like, okay, that's a whole whole different story here. So, any like like true strength numbers, girls just lifting like over 200-pound deadlift, or is it more the VBT based training?
We've steered more towards that
Yeah.
in recent years. So I don't have like a list of like 1RMs or like leaderboards.
Yeah.
We'll keep track of, like I said, the big things for us is our performance testing. We'll utilize the chin up test. We'll do jumps, so vertical and horizontal, and we'll do sprints, looking at a 10-yard sprint and a 10-yard fly. And then we'll also utilize, for me, my strength numbers are I get that from the Vault products. So we'll utilize the Nora board, the force frame, force decks, the force plates, and then force frame. Yeah. So we'll utilize those. And based on what they get on that, I will specify their training towards what they need. So if I've got Nora board's easy example. If I've got a kid that's very asymmetrical, so different, very different one side to the other, they're going to be on a specified program for that. So trying to even out the asymmetries. Asymmetries happen. I'm not too concerned if it's usually like 10% or more. That's when I'll flag it. Is like, okay, we need to keep an eye on this, and can we help even it out just a little bit, just so we're in a safe range. Or if they're under the average for the team or ratio to body weight. But we'll do a warm up pre practice for almost every practice that's specified to their needs out at the field. So I kind of get to tick a box there, but then I also get those sessions once to twice a week. Where I can also individualize it to what they need. So for me, I don't have like individual strength numbers. I have their biomechanical testing and the performance data that I will utilize that. So, you know, if you're looking at it, it's very, you know, soccer is very, I want to be on the field all the time. So to me, I think it's kind of silly to have like 1RMs or anything like that because they're going to feel like great. They're going to feel great one day. They're probably going to feel like doo doo the next day. So, how can I train them to optimally suit how they're feeling that day? And to me, that's utilizing PBT.
Yeah. I do want to ask about the chin up. So what are some girls getting there? Because I've seen some like really cool videos on the Duke Performance page of just girls cranking out chin ups.
We've got let's see, what's the top? We've got I want to say it was 12 this year.
Oh wow.
Was the maximum testing? I think it was 12.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, I think if you get into double digits for a female, that's pretty impressive. So that's a goal for all you young high school kids. Like, can you get double digits on your chin up sports? I think that's an awesome goal to have.
That's really impressive. Have any freshmen come in and done that in any of the years you've been?
Our one freshman had 10, so she came in pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, guys, so try and work towards that. That's a really big goal. Now, as far as speed training, so you're doing that in season as well. What does that look like?
Um, I wouldn't. So I get about 15-20 minutes before every session. So with that, we'll do, like I said, their individual prep work. So based on their testing, they'll have mobility work that they're going to work on, and then they'll have like activation work, strength work that they're going to work on, individualized to them and what they got on their testing when they first came in. After that, we'll get into a little bit more of a dynamic piece. So, your slow type of dynamics, so like leg swings, quad pulls, things like that. And then we'll take it into up tempo. So a little bit of speed mechanics as far as like different types of skips, um, running mechanics, things like that. And then we'll do some, depending on the day, we'll do some flying runs. So we're trying to touch top speed twice a week. For us, we found a lot of success with that. Again, dependent on their schedule is when we're going to do it, but we'll hit above 90 at least twice a week. So depending on what day it is, where we fall in the week, we'll do that as far as a form of speed training. If they're doing small sided at practice, I'll try to cater my speed work, warm up stuff to more small sided looking things. So whether it be a cone drill or you're reacting to a teammate, whatever it is, it's more small cut, change direction type work. And then yeah, we'll always have some type of acceleration work in there, just to prep. My goal with that is I'm prepping them for the session that they're going to see. So if they're doing small sided, it's going to be a little smaller space, change direction. If they're playing big, we'll do some more larger space accelerations. And then, like I said, if we're depending on when we play that week, we'll do some flying runs where we're hoping to touch 90 on the catapult. We'll see that.
So what are some of the top speed ranges the girls are getting currently?
Hey guys, just want to take a quick moment to shout out our sponsor, Simply Faster, and one of my favorite speed timing systems from them, the Freelap. I use it for my own sprint training as well as for my athletes, and they love it. It's super easy to set up, you can take it to the field on your own, and you can get accurate speed times to track your progress. Check the Freelap link in the caption below to start adding timing into your speed sessions. If you know me, you know I love my Freelap. If you're serious about speed, it's time to start timing.
From catapult GPS data, I want to say our top performers are anywhere between 17 to like 20 miles per hour. If you're looking at it from catapult metrics in miles per hour, like our flying run, or excuse me, our 10-yard accelerations from testing standpoint, I think we're like upper end, we're like 1.8 with the laser timers. So again, two different things you can look at is your ability to accelerate and then your top speed. So we want to be great at both, but some kids are a little bit better when it comes to acceleration, which usually takes a little bit more strength, and some kids are a little bit more twitchy and elastic, and are usually a little bit better from the top speed perspective. So top speed wise, I think velocity or miles per hour or 17 to 20, 20 being the high end for us. But
Yeah, that's flying. That's awesome. Now, as far as conditioning, so I get asked about the yo-yo test and preseason. Do you guys do that?
yes, so
Okay.
we utilize the Nike Spark, um, and I know
Okay.
I've seen it done a few different ways, but how we do it, you can't take reps off, so you get two misses, but you can't be strategic with it and like intentionally miss to take a break. So like just run it. If you miss, you miss. But you get two misses, and you're done. So I think for us, it's been good for like summer accountability. Not that our kids have a lot of issues with that, but it's been good, especially since COVID. Of this kid's safe to practice and play, so we can put them like they're safe to practice. Versus if you're not hitting a certain threshold, they're probably not ready for the level of our practices, because our practices are very intense, very demanding. So if you can't hit a certain threshold on our testing, then you're probably not safe to participate. So that's, I think, for us has been the big thing. Again, particularly since COVID, of we need to have this in place so that we can see where they're at.
Okay. What's the name of the test again? 'Cause
The Nike Spark.
I had never heard of that before. So would
It's
you
an
say
intermittent. Yeah, it's an intermittent
okay.
yo-yo. Yeah,
Yeah, because there's so many versions of it. So
I know. Yeah.
it's yeah, I can't keep up. But so what what level are you setting the standard at for everyone to get to?
So yeah, I like the Nike Spark because it's really simple. It's 1 to like 50. So it's
Okay.
not like the 1.4, whatever the other ones are. But so for us, again, it varies, but usually our standard is 40, um, 35 minimum to practice. So that's what we found to be the safe area. So if you're running the Nike Spark, that's what we look for here at Duke. You have to have 35 to practice safely, and 40 is our standard.
Okay. Yeah, 40 is just insane. I'm now seeing videos of people get above that too, which is just have you had
Yeah, we've
anyone go
we've had
above?
some like animals. We had to cut a kid off because it was just yeah. We had to cut a kid off. She was 50s plus.
Oh,
So yeah, we've
how
got
how much
some.
how is she at the end? Was she just like on the ground?
Yeah, but
Oh my
she's a tough kid. Like we had a couple that have done that, but they're just tough
wow.
kids. Like gritty. Yeah.
Yeah. So before the players go into summer off season, you're handing them a packet and for the most part they're taking it and doing it. Would you say everyone's keeping up good with it?
Yeah. I mean, I have some kids that like, this works better for me. So, okay, cool. Like, as long as you come back in shape, that's awesome. And we're ticking the boxes with these expectations from a health standpoint. But yeah, I think so. Returners, upperclassmen, they usually know what works for them. And I think I've got it narrowed down to where, hey, we're on the same page of this is this is what we need to do. I think underclassmen are it's a little bit harder for them because they're still figuring out like, oh, like this is the demand of Duke women's soccer of what we're trying to do at practices and all that good stuff. But incoming freshmen, they have no idea. It's a lot. But trying to meld that, and this is where the hiccup usually is they're usually playing, practicing. How do I fit all of this in? Because I'm not used to this type of volume. It's a little bit tricky, but that's where I come into to play, right? So if you send me your schedule, at least here, if you send me your schedule, I will work with your schedule and plot out your program. But I think, we've got a lot of tape A personalities here at Duke, so like they're gonna take care of what they need to take care of and be ready to go when it comes time. So
Awesome. Now, is there any advice you would give to the young girl soccer players and the parents listening who want to play at a level like Duke?
don't be afraid to get in the weight room. I think, um, it's easy to live and die out on the pitch, right? But you guys got that. Like you'll be fine. But that to take to the next level, I think you need to make sure that you're getting into the weight room. And like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be an hour's worth of training. But you need to get in there. You need to start working on your functional movements. So can I squat? Can I hinge? Can I do a push up, pull up? Can I carry something? But you'll get your sprinting. You'll get your soccer. You get your speed workout on the field. A lot of times high school student athletes are missing that piece of they've never been in a weight room before. So can you start to lay that foundation? That's going to help you so much. We've got kids that soccer is tough because like you come in and you have a game in a week. So like that's not a lot of time for me to work with you. So if you've already got that foundation built in, that's awesome. Like that's so helpful for me at least. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, you can squat, you can do a push up. That's great. So it's not like everything we're doing is like super fancy. Like you just need to do the basics and you need to be able to do it really well. Cause like you come in and it's pedal to the metal. Like we're going.
Yeah.
So
That's
don't be afraid to get in the weight room. It's a common thing that's missed, I think, in high school student athletes, females in particular. That's gonna help with their career, their trajectory, right?
yeah, that's brilliant. Well, I'm so glad you emphasize the importance of strength because we're always talking about that on this podcast. I'm always telling my high school girls, you have to stay consistent with this so that when you see your college strength coach, you can impress them and you can be ready. So, uh,
Yes, yes.
yeah, I mean,
Please,
there's nothing
please.
better than getting an incoming freshman who is competent in all the lifts and crushing them too. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, the first time you're touching a dumbbell or a barbell shouldn't be your first time in a college setting. So
No.
please get into the weight room and just get to know how to do different things. Like I said, you don't have to max out. You don't have to, um, you know, 1 RM every week, but you just need to go in and be confident in your training aspect. Like, who doesn't love to be a strong, confident woman? Like, it's great. Like, let's go.
Yeah, and that confidence going in, just knowing that you're physically strong and ready for the game and conditioned too. That's just amazing as an incoming freshman. You're not as nervous and scared.
Yeah. What's that saying? Look good, feel good, play good, right? So
Yeah,
there you go.
absolutely. Well, this has been great. Are you hanging out anywhere on social media so people can follow you, or should I just share the Duke Sport Performance page? What's best?
Yeah, I'm on social media, but Duke Sports Performance does a much better job. So I would check out them. I usually just post pictures of my kids. Um, but the training aspect, if you want to check that out, Duke Sports Performance does a great job. Shout out to my coworkers for getting the content there. But yeah, check it out. See what you got. If anybody has any questions, I'm on our website, so you can check. Shoot me an email, and I'll try to get back to you the best I can. But yeah, I mean, I guess last thing I'll say is that you don't have to have set numbers. You just have to train and be consistent. If you're not consistent, you're going to be sore and you're going to be miserable all the time. So train consistently. Doesn't have to be super heavy, a lot of volume, but you just need to train consistently.
Yeah. I love it. Great place to end. And guys, please be sure to check out the Duke Sport Performance Instagram. They do post some great content. So not just women's soccer, but all the teams. It's just cool to see what these programs are doing at this level. And like Megan said, it's not fancy, but you see the consistency required and these athletes being able to do these things in the gym. And that consistency piece is so, so key, especially as your daughter goes through her career and starts to make it to the next level. So definitely check out Duke Sport Performance, and I will see you guys next time.